Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm steadily making my way through the requested Sudokus that we've had either on our Gmail account, which is crackingthecryptic@gmail.com, or our Twitter account, which is @crypticcracking. This has taken me longer than I expected, partly because yesterday's puzzle took me about 35 minutes to solve, which is a long time. And the video, I haven't published it yet, probably go up in the next day or so. So make sure that you have a wet towel to put around your head and plenty of time for that video. I'm hoping this one will be easier. It certainly seems to have more given digits than the one I was looking at yesterday. So let's have a look at it. Now, as usual, what I'll do is I'll make pencil marks. I can see this is just a 4 from given numbers in the grid. In fact, this is a 4 as well. But where I identify that a number can only go in exactly 2 positions in a 3x3 block, so if we look down here and ask where a 4 can go, you can see it can only go into those 2 squares because of the 4 here and the 4 here. Then I'll make little pencil marks just to remind me of that fact. So I can see I can pencil mark some 1s there, look. 1s into these 2 squares because of the 1 here and the 1 here. That means there must be a 1 in one of these 3 positions. And we have a 1 here and a 1 here. So this square is going to be a 1. Okay. 3, 3. There's lots of opportunities to put pencil marks in early here, which is a good thing. I can pencil mark 1s into those 2 squares, and therefore 1's up there. 8, 8, 8's into those 2 positions, 2's into these 2 positions, 6, 6, 4, 4, 4, 8, 8, 7's, 7, 7, and this 7 here, this has to be a 7. And this has to be a 7 because of the 7 here and the 7 here and the way they interact on this block. Therefore we can pencil mark 7s at the top and place the 7 here and here. Nice. And pencil mark 7s into this top 3x3. So we've got quite a few given digits now down here. Let's just check the column. So 2, 3 and 5. So this is a 2 or a 3. This can be anything. That can be a 2 or a 5. I'm not quite at the point yet where I want to notate differently. I think we'll carry on with pencil marks for the time being, just for a bit longer. 5's there. 3, 8 down here. 8, 8. So we have a 3, 8 pair there, look. So what numbers are left to place in this block? 2, 4, 5 and 9. 9's are pushed into... no, 9's got to be there. Just from the locking entries. 9, 9, and this 9 here. So now we've got 2, 4 and 5 to place. Let's pencil mark those in. 2's into those 2 squares. 4's into these 2 squares. And we can't say anything yet about 5's. So this is a... No, okay. 2, 3... Okay, yes, right, and now have a look at row 8 of the grid. And this is what's called a hidden single. So, what's the difference between a hidden single and a naked single? Well, a naked single you can identify just by focusing on the particular cell, looking at the rows, the columns and the block entries, and you can eliminate down to just one number. A hidden single is slightly more difficult because we need to use more than the individual cell itself in order to identify it. So if we have a look at row 8 and ask ourselves where we can place a 4, you can see we can't put one here or here because of the checking entries, or here because of this 4. The 4 could go here, but it can't actually go here or here either. So there's only one position left for a 4 in row 8, and the only way of, and notice if you actually just focused on this cell and said what could go into this cell, well, 1, 2 and 3 couldn't go in, 4 could go in, 5 couldn't go in, 6 could go in, 7 and in fact 8 could go in as well. So just by focusing on the cell you wouldn't identify that this can only be a 4. You have to actually use the wider restrictions in the grid, and that makes spotting that sort of thing very difficult, and that's simply practice, getting a gut instinct for it. Now the fact I put this 4 in here means I can immediately place the 6 and the 5 because of the earlier pencil marks. I had a pencil mark 6 in here, which indicated the 6 could only go into 2 positions in the block. Now you can see, so that means this must be the 6. The moment I take the 5's pencil mark, this must be a 5, and therefore the only square left for an 8 is this one. That resolves this 8, 3 over here, look, so let's do that. Now there's lots of pencil marks we can probably do as a result of all of this, so again we've got to just be very careful and make sure that we don't miss our opportunity to put as many pencil marks in as possible. 5, there's 5 here, there's not many 5's in this grid. 5's, pencil mark up there, look. Don't get distracted, Simon. Right, so 1, 6, 9 down here. Okay. Grinding to a bit of a halt now. Sort of seeing a lot of half things, but nothing that's enough to make me pursue it further. It's quite difficult, this, at the moment. Let's check this column again. So we've got 2, 5, oh sorry, no, yeah, 2, 3 and 5. So this can only be a 2, 3, this can be 2, 3 or 5, this can be 2 or 5. Okay, so what is the next step? Well, there is something going on. If we have a look at the middle row here, this 5 is very powerful in terms of the way it operates on the middle row. So you can see that where can we place a 5 in the middle row? Well, the 5's are forced into 2 specific columns. So column 3 and column 9. I've just noticed if we look at row 2 as well, we've got, where can we place a 5 in this row? We can place one there, but because of this 5 we can't place one here, and this 5 stops us placing one here as well. So there is a symmetry there, an X-wing on 5's. So the 5's are locked into this pattern. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with X-wings, this is a very powerful arrangement because we can state now with certainty that in the finish grid there'll either be a 5 here and a 5 here, or there must be a 5 here and a 5 here. Now that means that there cannot be any more 5's in column 3 or column 9. Sorry, just had a toddler moment. So, does that matter? Well, I'm sure it's going to matter. Whether it's going to be massive or not depends a bit on what we can find in the column. So, this square, there's no, okay. So this square, on the face of it, looking just at row 9 here, could have been a 4 or a 5. Well, now, because of this x-wing, it can't be a 5, so it's forced to be a 4. Now, that's going to be huge, I imagine. Firstly, we can say this must therefore be a 5. Oops, why has it done that? Once we have this 5 here, the x-wing is resolved, because if we look at this, there can't be a 5 here. It's impossible. So once there can't be a 5 here, we know that the 5 is shifted over in this 3 by 3 block here into column 9. But we also know, because of the x-wing, there cannot be a 5 here or here. So the only place a 5 can go is there. So we place the 5. The moment we place one corner of an x-wing, we know with certainty the other corner must also be a 5. So there's a few things we can see here. We can pencil mark this 5, 7, remove this 5. This has to be a 5. Remove that 5, the other indication of the x-wing. We still need to place a 2, look, in this column. That's going to have to go here now. Therefore, this is a 4. What numbers do we leave? 2 and 8 into row 7, so that we have a 2 here. So this is a 2, and this is an 8. That means that we have a 5 and a 3 into those 2 squares. We can pencil mark 2's into these 2 squares and pencil mark 8's into these 2 squares. And we are starting, I think, to make very good progress now. I'm sure I've missed a pencil mark or 2 actually as I've been speaking. Let's have a look at column 6 here. You can still see we need to place 2 and 6, which is apparently open at the moment. Could be either way. Let's have a look at row 2. So 1, 6 and 8 to place. This 8 here means there must be an 8 in one of these 2 positions, and this 8 here means it must in fact be there. So this is an 8. That resolves the pencil marked 8 in this square, and the moment I place this 8, I can place the 1 from the earlier pencil mark. That interacts with these pencil marks to force a 1 into this square, and I think we're very close to an answer now. This 2 here, and this 2 means there's a 2 in the central square, and we're left with 3, 6 and 9 to place in the centre. We have a 3 here and a 3 here, so that's a 3. Let's put the 6, oops, put the 6 and the 9 double in. 3's into one of those 2 positions. Uh, 6 along there. 6, 9, 6, 9. 6. Let's look at this block. We know there is no 5 here or here. So where can a 5 go now in column 1? Well, if it can't go here or here, it must go here. So, oops. So this is a 5 and this is a 3. This is a 3. This must be 3 and 9, I think, which means this must be 6 and 8. And in fact, I had an 8 over here, so we can resolve all that. 8 and a 6 there. So this one must be, what's that going to be, a 9? So that's a 9. This is a 6. 5 and 2. 2 2 and 6 into those two squares. So this square must be a 9. That looks like that's working. Still need to place 6's into these two. Oh, cursor's gone strange. And therefore this must be a 1-9 pair, which means this is a 9 because of this 9. 2, I think. 9, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 7, 6, and there we go. So a little bit more straightforward today. Nice puzzle though. Quite a, you know, the X-swing in the middle of that was difficult, and yeah, definitely worth attention. So I hope you got something out of the solve, and we'll be back soon with another edition of Crack the Cryptic. Please do subscribe if you enjoy the content. We really appreciate that.